Am I live now? Why is it echoing? You need to change the volume. Where do I see the comments here? Scroll and show me. Yeah. So how do you minimize this? You can. Okay. That's okay. Yes, you can pull it down maybe a bit more. Good to go. Okay. Am I audible to everybody online? You control the volume, reduces, still echoing. Am I audible to all of you? Ritul, Ravi? Okay, welcome all of you. Raghavendra? Right. All the others also listening online, if you can just put a yes or no. The streaming is fine or not? If the audio is fine, I think it's not even shining because the windows are not as bright. Okay. Karavel. Okay. इसमें क्यों नहीं कमेंट्स आ रहा है? Okay. Can you quickly check if? Yes, you can now. Aniket? Aniket Aryan? Okay. I've lost that screen. Where is that screen? This one. This. If I maximize this, where does that go?
Just press the button. Thanks.
That way. So then I will not touch this. Yes. Okay, all of you. Hello, all of you. Good evening. Yes. So I was just telling the students sitting here offline that your actual examination preparation starts with this session of yours. Okay, what we do otherwise is the foundation courses. So all of you have joined me. Thank you for coming in. Yes, Rahul. Yes. So, so I'm discussing what will be our approach for the enrichment classes, and more importantly, what do you have to do and get ready with? Because see, the pace of these classes will be very high. Okay, I target approximately you should be writing around 250 to 300 answers. We have 9 tests. 9 tests on average. Even if I ask you, say about 20 questions on average, तो आपका टेस्ट में ही आपके 200 आंसर्स हो गए approximately. The sectional tests will have 14 questions, and the full length test will have the 28 questions. Okay. Apart from that, you will have discussions on questions almost every day. So you will have to, Kriman, I'm not discussing the question today. Your actual session starts on 27th of September. But the time that you have right now, ek hafta, 10 din jo bhi hai, with what mindset should you start preparing and how you should revise so that you start using the class from day one. You cannot afford to spend the first 2-3 days as a part of learning the process. Okay? So I'm trying to orient you towards the classes we will have. Yes, yes. Good evening, all of you. Good evening. We just started 2-3 minutes ago. Okay, but formally we have not yet begun in terms of topics. Okay, so let me quickly mention this, that this is our initiation class. Initiation class bolo, or you can call this as the orientation class. Okay, for the geography optional enrichment and advanced module. Okay, this is our first session. Your actual classes, the actual module starts from 27th of September. Okay, we are getting ready for a 2023 examination. Okay, so I'll just brief for the first 5-6 minutes. I'll brief you what the course is about. and then I'll get you into what you should do. The objective of this is to understand the approach of what I will be doing. Second is, how should you get ready? How should you get ready for the classes, starting 27th September. Okay, this is the objective of today's session. It'll be a short one. I'll keep it to 1.5 hours on the higher side. Okay, so this is the orientation session in that sense. Now, briefly about the module, so you all can write this down. We will have in two phases. The first phase of this module will be before the prelims. Pre-prelims module, and then you will have the post-prelims module. Post-prelims module, which will be the 4 comprehensive tests. And the pre-prelims module will have 5 sectional tests. 5 sectional tests. The sectional tests will be of 200 marks each. The 4 comprehensive will be for 250 marks each. The sectional tests, this will be for 2 hours, and this will be the full 3 hours ka paper. The reason being is you first learn how to write tests, and then you get into the proper tests. Okay, so 4 comprehensive tests and 5 sectional tests. And let me clarify right now itself, baad mein you shouldn't be having an issue. This will be right before the mains, about 10 odd days before the mains. So paper 1, okay, paper 1, paper 2, then paper 1, paper 2, 4 tests. And it will be something like the exam simulation, the same day. First half give paper 1, second half you give paper 2. And the second set, this will not be evaluated by us, but we will discuss all the answers. This will have evaluation. This will have discussions also. Okay, so this is the design of the program. I repeat, the program runs in 2 modules, the pre-prelims module and the post-prelims module. The pre-prelims module, I want to wind this up preferably by Jan end and Feb approximately. I want to end this up, for which you'll get a detailed schedule class by class, because I want to give you time for your prelims examination preparation. So if you have about 2.5, 3 months, if you are properly following a design, it should be enough. So Jan end Feb tak hum aapko chhod denge more or less. Then you do your prelim examination, and then we come back and do your comprehensive ones. Okay, this design here for your 2 phases. Achha, now the structure I follow is every test that we have, it has discussion classes first. Then we will have the post-test discussion. Okay. Now see, iska purpose kya? Let me explain this. Okay. Am I audible to all of you? Yes. Okay. Online, am I audible to all of you? Yes. Ashish, correct. All the sectional tests are evaluated. Ye sare evaluated honge. These are evaluated. Okay. Online students will also write the test. We also give the offer to write in the class conditions. Agar online bhi ho, you can come and give the tests offline if you want to give. That's your choice. Okay. So they will be evaluated. Correct. It's available between pre and mains. I don't know what you're asking me. Okay. Yes, of course. When I say post prelims, okay, it will imply it has to be before the mains. No, how can it be after the mains? We are getting ready for, I'm assuming all of you are getting ready for 2023 examination. ठीक है? Okay, fine. So this is the two phase. I repeat, some of you join me later quickly. The program enrichment advanced course in geography has two parts, the pre-prelims and the post-prelims. The pre-prelims will have 5 sectional tests, 200 marks each. We want to wind this up by Jan end and Feb approximately. And the post-prelims, it will have 4 comprehensive tests, 250 marks each, just as we have in the examination. Paper 1, paper 2, paper 1, paper 2. The difference will be the second paper 1, paper 2 evaluate nahi kar payenge because this test is held approximately 1 week before the examination. Taki aapka writing practice rahe aapka. I can't give the corrections in time. Okay, so this we don't evaluate, but discussions honge. You'll get the model answers also. Whatever support you need, you'll get it. Okay, so now I'm coming towards what is the design of the program. Okay, now see, one challenge students face is, okay, that all of us are part of some foundation course or the other jo aapne kiya hoga, the way it is done. Okay, geomorphology is done, climatology is done, oceanography is done. Okay, the way it is all done for all topics. And then what happens is this coverage is not enough for the examination. And if you directly jump into tests, now tests will have 2 types of questions. There are straight questions, which I call as level 1 questions. Write a note on jet streams, write a note on Rossby waves, okay, write a note on probably a Davis theory, जो आपका straight note से आ सकता है. Okay, so foundation course, whatever content directly comes foundation is called as level 1 questions according to me. And then there are level 2 and level 3 questions. Level 2 questions require a bit more of integration type. I'll explain what they look like. And level 3 requires more reading, more studying, deeper concepts, and lot of current affairs required in level 3 also. So if you directly jump, and in examination, generally what happens, we have seen is every paper, okay, about 30-40% of the paper is level 1. The remaining 60-70% is level 2 and level 3. So if you go for a test and the questions are level 1, you'll get good marks and you're happy coming out with good ranks also. The moment we ask level 2, level 3 questions, आप जल्दी छोड़ देते हो, and we expect sir will teach us in the class. So in level 2, level 3, actually I'm not able to test your skills. Okay, so this is where, no, not now, it's about a history of almost 16 years ago, I decided that before I give the test, I must also have some discussions to get you ready for the test. Okay, it makes no sense to ask a question and you can't answer, you leaving it. Okay, and then depending ki discussion hoga to hum kar lenge, wo kabhi nahi ho pata phir. So every test of ours is preceded by some discussions, and these discussions will not be part of the foundation courses. These discussions will have advanced concepts and current affairs. That's why I'm saying that every test of yours is preceded by discussion classes. On average, this can be approximately 5 to 6 classes per test. Okay, average bata rahe. In some cases, I almost have 8 or 9 classes also with every test. And then the test discussion itself will take me 2 odd classes to discuss about 14 questions or 20 questions in one day. In 2 hours, almost impossible ho jata hai mere liye. So every test is supported by 8, 9, 10 classes on an average. Okay, so on the lower side, I'm keeping in 5 or 6 classes. So this is the structure of the entire schedule. Is it okay, all of you? Did you understand this point? You are not preparing for 23, for 24. Now see, this is a tricky question. Dekho, what happens is that if you do not do some things at one flow, my experience tells me your momentum is lost. Okay. Ideally, when you start a process, complete that in one go. Okay. Imagine, okay, sir, I will do paper 1 now and I'll do paper 2 in the month of October next year. Aapka pura flow toot jayega. Sir, I want to do geomorphology now, and I'll do geographical thought when I give the mains. Okay, I will do probably human geography later on. I'll do physical geography now. It doesn't happen like that. Okay, because already you have so much of content which is volatile, you end up forgetting concepts by the time you take it up after almost 1 year. Okay, और ये sessions हम साल में एक ही बार कर सकते हैं. Okay, so right now, lot of people joining me will be students who have taken the course the month of last November, last January, okay, April batch, May batch, June batch. ये सब मिलाकर we will have the one combined session in September to January. So if you miss it this year, it's your choice. Then you must join me next year. Okay, next year from September onwards. But what happens sometimes is, if you have given your prelims and your prelims does not go well, फिर आपको पता है कि mains तो दे नहीं रहे हो आप लोग. Okay, and some of you, okay, will not have the energy to come back and do mains preparation again. Then your focus will shift towards, let me finish off the prelims readiness first. So unless you are very sure, कि sir, I can't keep with the pace at all, then I'll say defer it. But generally do it at one go. Okay, do it at one flow so that you are in the preparation in a proper sequential way. Okay? I hope it is fine here. Ultimately, it's your choice. You can do it this year or you can do it next year. That's your choice. So even now, see, if you have done your foundation course now, then you should do your preparation advance also now. Okay, and those for whatever reasons can't clear the prelims in 1 or 2 attempts. जहां पर आपका prelims और mains के preparation में अगर 2 साल का gap हो गया, then the advanced course content almost has to be repeated because the questions are dynamic. Imagine students who have joined me 2018 में and they have not written mains once. वो geography भूल चुके होंगे to a large extent. In that case, I recommend don't do foundation again, but you must do the advanced course again because the questions are dynamic. Every year, the advanced course content will change as much by 60-70%. So this has to be repeated so that you are in the exam cycle properly. Yes, you can do that, Miraj. Not a problem. You can join now if you want to join. Yes. Okay, all of you fine here? Have I answered this question? So when you want to join is your choice, but be wise in deciding how you are planning off your preparation. So that's about the course itself. I've explained what is the phases and I've explained what the structure will be. Every test is preceded by discussions and post-test discussions also. And whatever I'm discussing here, our discussions will be largely in the form of questions. Our discussions will be in the form of कि ये question है, अब इसका answer क्या होना चाहिए. Okay, I will try to give you almost 80% question ka, I will try giving you model answers. Okay, what does the answer look like in the space and constraints that we write in? तो 2 पेज के अंदर रहेगा, 3 पेज के अंदर रहेगा, with diagrams, with schematics. So whatever I discuss, so every class generally I discuss 5 to 6 questions. So 5-6 questions का आपको model answers दे देंगे. Whatever tests I conduct here, okay, I will try giving the model answers for those also. Okay, and I try to give for every question, but if I cannot, I at least give for 80% of your questions. But I try that you get the questions for answers for at least all the tests, if not for the discussion ones. So how do we support you? What is our support process? The support process includes 4 things. Number 1, you will have your discussions pre-test. Number 2, you will get model answers. And number 3, you will get additional readings, whatever you need. And number 4, you also will get mentorship support. When I say mentorship support, okay, you can always ask us your questions after the class. We'll give you assignments, answer writing, whatever we can, you get this. But see, this has to be structured. It cannot be random. When I'm teaching oceanography, you can't ask me questions on geomorphology. When I'm teaching you climatology, you can't ask me questions of geographical thought. इसको structured रखेंगे, so all of you benefit. These are the 4 supports you get from me as a part of the course. The discussions which are before the test, post तो होना ही होना है. But I think this is a very unique thing we have been doing for a long time before the test. Now, some of the questions I'll ask in the test will be repeat of this. Okay. Plus, it'll always surprise you with some new questions also. So your test will have a mix of both. Some of them will be what I have taught you. याद करके वही लिख के दिखाओ. Let's see. And some questions I will surprise you, okay, which you are not prepared for. Okay. And I'll do that more and more as the tests keep on advancing. So maybe first 2 tests, I will not surprise you much. But the 3rd test, the 4th test, and your comprehensive tests, you can be assured, 9 out of 10 questions will be those you are not prepared. I'll frame entirely new questions. So initially, we will start to learn, and then I'll see how you perform. Yes, Purandar, previous year's questions honge, but sare nahi honge. So you tell me what will you want. Okay, mere paas, my bandwidth is approximately 5 into say about 5. So 5 into 5 or 6 rather. 6 into 5. Say I have about 30 questions to discuss. Sorry, no. 6 into 5 into 9 into 5. Am I right here? Yeah, into 5. What I mean by this is there are 5 tests, sectional tests. Each test is supported by 5 classes, and each class I'm discussing approximately 6 questions. Okay, so how many are you having here? Approximately around 25 and 6. Okay, say a round off around 150 questions. Okay. Now, what do you want? You want 150 questions to be PYQ questions alone, or do you want new questions? You tell me. My bandwidth itna hi hai na. Okay, plus I also have the tests of the final ones. I have the questions. I have the questions of 5 tests. Okay, 5 into 14 questions. Plus I have got 4 into 28 questions. ये तो हम कराएंगे आपको. So in this range, what do you want me to do? Do you want to cover all PYQs alone? I think that'll be stupidity. मेरे लिए अच्छा है. I'll have to put less effort. You will want new questions, right? Yes, the PYQs which are tricky, definitely I'll take up. Lot of PYQs already YouTube में है, आप उसको देख लीजिए आप. Yes. Okay, that's what I'm saying. By the time the course gets over, you should have a bank of 300-350 answers, of which 200 आपको लिखना पड़ेगा. I will give you, but the right learning is if you write the answers also. Okay. In fact, I'll invite some of you to do good writing, then I'll put you in separate group altogether. You start writing model answers for us. Okay. That way I can train you in different way altogether. So by the time the course gets over, you should have a bank of 300, 350, 400 answers. And plus I'll pump you with more answers. ये तो हम discuss कर रहे हैं. I'll give you answers beyond what I'm discussing. Okay, so आपके पास अच्छा खासा bank हो जाएगा that you can memorize and you can reproduce. So yes, I will do PYQs, but I do not think I should be doing only PYQs. That will be actually a bad thing for you. Have I explained my strategy, Akanksha Singh? Have I explained my strategy here? Yes, some new and some mostly new and some PYQs, correct. Okay, so I think I'm done with explaining what my approach will be. Now let's get on to what do you need to do. Okay, now your readiness is what you should do by the time I start the sessions with the tests. Your first test, your test 1 hai, the test 1 has topics oceanography, climatology, we have a biogeography and environment geography. These are the 4 units of test number 1. And except some topics of oceanography, these are very, very dynamic topics. Climate change, pollution, man's impact on ecosystems, what are the legislations, what are some of the programs. Okay, oceanography may, except for ocean pollution and resources element, otherwise bulk of it is going to be more and more static. So this topic requires a lot of current affairs based discussions also. Okay, these are the 4 units for the first test. Now see, what all you must do. Number 1, you have to start at least consciously finishing off all summaries. All summaries has to be finished by the time I start. Okay, I am presuming all of you have done it. Kuch bacha hoga shayad, maybe 10-15% not done. You have to finish all summaries, and please also start memorizing all your summaries. If I ask you a question which is straight from your syllabus, you should not be thinking anymore. Write a note on, say, trade winds. Aankh band karte hi, trade winds means I should have 10 points with me. What are trade winds? Where are they found? How are they formed? What are the say consequences of trade winds in which continents? They cause deserts, they cause rainfall. Okay, they can cause maybe some conditions like upwelling and so on. How are trade winds modified? Okay, because of whatever conditions. So monsoon is one type of trade wind modification. Okay, and in recent times, how have the trade winds changed, if any news you know from the current affairs? So 7-8 point aankh band karte hi dikhna chahiye aapko. Write a note on the ocean bottom relief of Indian Ocean. Aap isko soch nahi sakte aur. The moment I say Indian Ocean, ocean bottom relief, you start off. Start off with, okay, the map that you should remember. What are the different ridges that you should remember? Talk about some specific names of some locations. Talk about how they impact the ocean currents, what impact they have on resources, if any. Okay, what are the islands linked to them? And maybe a comparison between how the Indian Ocean moss is different from the other oceans. How the Indian Ocean trenches, okay, and the marginal sea is different from the other oceans. Compare how the shelves of Indian Ocean are different from that of Pacific Ocean. So ye aapke man mein, okay, structure has to be recalled without too much of struggle. If I ask you a straight question on, write a note on the effectiveness of UNCLOS in dealing with the problems of environment. फिर आपको सोचना नहीं है. Straight away, part 12. Okay, 6-7 types of marine pollution, environment issues. UNCLOS deals with these, does not deal with these. And what are the other legislations that UNCLOS, okay, cannot deal with, but the others are dealing with. So, aapka summary should have been done and the memorization done. Only then can I teach you the higher levels. An example of a higher level question is, okay, discuss how effective is UNCLOS in dealing with issues of maritime security. आपके syllabus में नहीं है, but question पूछा गया है last time. Discuss if UNCLOS requires modifications and reforms based on the developments in geopolitics in the last 1 decade. So this is not in the syllabus, but this can be always asked. Okay, what are the geopolitical implications of India trying to address concerns related to the encroachment or change in the navigation rights of the Indian Ocean? If you know about current affairs, you'll know the US did something with its ships entering Indian territorial waters. So, aapko ye pata hona chahiye, then I can teach you what additional do we need. ठीक है? Yes, revisions chahiye, but mujhe ye do kaam ready chahiye. Summaries and memorization of summaries must be done. The second thing, now this I'll discuss a bit more. You have to learn how to interpret and understand a question followed by developing storyline for an answer. So some of you have learned this because of assignments we give you, but others have not yet got into this. Now see, this is perhaps the biggest challenge in answer writing. आपको एग्जाम्पल देते हैं. This morning I was checking some of the questions. Okay, I'm giving example from essays paper. The topic was that if one knows his own darkness, he understands others darkness better. Okay, I'm rephrasing it, not exact word में. ये एक टॉपिक था essays के लिए. Like if one knows one's own darkness, he can understand darkness of other. Now look at this. इसमें एक concept है self awareness. Second concept है self awareness of one's weaknesses and failings. Third concept है okay using the self awareness how can we help others. Okay, एक fourth aspect है okay examples of people who had a good self awareness and they benefited from it. Think of these four concepts, all of you. I repeat, the topic is if one knows his own darkness, he can understand the darkness of others, or he can deal with the darkness of others. यहाँ पर darkness का मतलब क्या है? Some failings, it means some weaknesses, it means some kind of traumas, okay, some type of biases, some type of prejudices, some maybe not so obvious fears. Okay? And if I know this, I understand darkness of others. I understand and maybe address it better. ये चार concepts हैं. Self awareness इसका part है या नहीं? Yes or no? Yes, all agreed is part of this. Second, self awareness to understand okay one's own failings. ये इसका part है कि नहीं? Yes. So this is one concept. This applies. This is one concept applies. Using this awareness, how can we help others? ये इसका part है या नहीं? Yes, because I understand others better, so I can solve the problems. Then, okay, examples of people who had self-awareness, okay, and how they benefited from it. Okay, is this part of essay or not? Yes. Now you tell me of these four things, what do you think are the most important aspects of this essay? Okay, of these four things, सारा essay का part होगा. But you tell me of these four, which you think okay, is the most important one for the essay? Most important one कौन सा होगा? Most important one कौन सा होगा? Okay, put it in terms of hierarchy. Let's see. अब hierarchy डालो. Okay, what will come first? What will come next? What will come thereafter? Give a hierarchy. So, सबसे important hierarchy कौन सा होगा? This one. Self-awareness to know darkness, and then self-awareness of darkness and helping others. Correct? Okay. If I miss these two and write this and this, have I lost the topic or not? If I write only these two, nahi, ye nahi aayega. This is about self-awareness, okay, in general, and how it benefits. Okay, topic is not about benefiting yourself alone. It's about how do you understand others' darkness better. Okay, I was seeing the papers. Out of 10 scripts I have checked, only one person got this right. But सब ने लिखा है general. It's important to know one's own selves, to know one's own strength. ये ऐसे strength के बारे में है ही नहीं. ये तो darkness के बारे में है. So it is not about self-awareness in general. Self-awareness about one's failings. Self-awareness about one's own weaknesses. And then using this, how can we benefit others? ये दो सबसे important component था. To develop this, I can have some of this, I can have some of this. But अगर आपने ये miss कर दिया, okay, you are done. Then you have not understood the topic at all. Okay. In geography optional, in the GS paper also, Yes, without 2, 3, okay, you are missing the topic. I'm not saying this is wrong, this is wrong. If I ask you, where do you come from? Where do you come from? I come from Tamil Nadu. And in Tamil Nadu culture, XYZ, there's Bharatanatyam dance and there is dosa in Italy as a food. That we have a culture that goes back to Sangam literature. वो सब हो जाएगा, no problem. But if I ask you, where do you come from? You start with Bharatanatyam dance. तो आपको बना नहीं ना, right? The most important part is answer what is first being demanded from you. Then you talk about the other aspects. So I go back here. This is the first challenge. Okay, that you have to start consciously dwelling on what does the question demand. कि question का demand क्या है? Straight questions में ये problem नहीं होता है. The moment I twist it, then you are in trouble. One. Number two, remember, you must write the answer in certain word limit. You must write the answer in certain time limit. So once you understand the question, up challenge hai, keeping the word limit and keeping the time limit, what can you write down? Okay. So for that, you must have what I call as a storyline. You must know, कि अच्छा पहले ये बताएंगे. Okay, then I'll say this, then I'll say this. When I'm saying this, I will not write beyond this much words. When I say this, I will not write beyond this words. But a third one, I'll expand more. Your storyline has to be set first. Okay, the answers I'm checking, none of them were getting the storyline right. None of them were getting the flow of the ideas right. Which means, ek answer will demand as much as sometimes 1 day of work. Sometimes 4 or 5 hours of work. I'll show some questions to you right now. So in your preparation, what I want from you is, in oceanography, in climatology, in biogeography, environment geography, आप सारे previous year's questions देखेंगे. Okay. Make it a habit for the next 15 days. Every day you will see 2 or 3 questions. Straight ones को छोड़ दो आप लोग. But try thinking on the tricky ones and what should your storyline be. A simple question like, look at this question and then I'll help you answer this. Okay? Look at this question. This was asked. You all see my screen, okay? This was asked in 2021. Examine the major influencing factors of varied patterns of precipitation on the continents. It's not a... Sorry, oh, it's here. Here, this one. This one here. Examine the major influencing factors for varied patterns of precipitation on the continents. मिला आपको यहाँ पर? Okay. Examine the major influencing factors. Yeah. Examine the major influencing factors for varied patterns of precipitation on the continents. First, you must tell me what you understand by varied patterns of precipitation. Can you tell me what are the varied patterns? पहले बताओ. What are okay the examples of varied patterns of precipitation? What are the examples of varied patterns of precipitation? Yes. Zonal pattern, local pattern, okay. Okay, fine. That variation is on scale. Okay, okay. What else? Yes, go on. Snowfall, okay, rainfall, okay, fine.
Amount of rainfall.
Amount of rainfall. और कितने मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है देखो? 20 marks. 20 marks. In how many pages should you write down? 20 marks. कितने पेज में लिख सकते हैं आप? Keep your time limit in mind also. My suggestion should not go beyond 3 pages. Maximum 3.5 pages. Okay. But if you write all 20 marks for 3.5 pages, आपका question पक्का छूट जाएगा. You have to compromise something. 3 पेज के अंदर में, okay, you have to talk about examining the factors of varied patterns of precipitation on the continents. The moment I say varied patterns of precipitation, okay, one will be the seasonal variations across continents. Second will be variations in terms of forms of precipitation. The third will be variations in terms of types of precipitation. When I say seasonal rainfall, so we have got, okay, equatorial rainfall, rainfall throughout the year hota hai. Monsoons have rainfall in the summer conditions. Mediterranean type, I have rainfall in the winter conditions. That's about seasonality. Okay. We have areas that have rainfall throughout the year, but not equatorial. Something like what we have in areas of, okay, the taiga forests. We have areas of Laurentian forests. Okay. So rainfall throughout the year is one of the variations. Summer rainfall, monsoons mein hai, savanna regions mein hai. Okay. Winter rainfall is Mediterranean. Okay. Now in forms, rainfall in terms of water droplets, rains, and precipitation in terms of snowfall, in terms of glaze and sleet, in terms of, okay, hailstones, wo precipitation hai. And then we have orographic rainfall, conventional convectional rainfall, frontal rainfall, right? We'll talk about cyclonic rainfall. Ab batao, is sara lapetna hai in 3 pages. And not just that, you have to discuss the factors. Means which factors are responsible for these type of variations. So what are the factors? The factors will be latitude as a factor. Factors will be the winds responsible as factors. Factors will be maritime locations or continentality as a factor. Factor will be the presence or absence of mountains or barriers for orographic rainfall. Factors will also include the intensity of summer heating because of whatever reasons. उसके ऊपर में एक और ऐड करोगे, yes, anthropogenic factors. The answer is not about patterns of precipitation. The answer has to be about factors, but linking them with the precipitation patterns. This is the scope of your question. अब इसका बनाओ storyline. Let's see. What will you start with first? How will your answer develop? So आपके पास, if you have done your summarization well, if you have done your memorization well, आपको content पता है. But now the challenge is getting into the organization, the storyline of your question. So what I expect from all of you is spend some time identifying these type of questions. ये question छोड़ दो. Causes of lightning you could not have prepared at all. Okay, but what you could have prepared, what are the important factors responsible for air mass modifications? You cannot say ये syllabus से नहीं है, ये तो नहीं है, ठीक है, but ये syllabus से है. But I am sure you have not read or have made notes that look like this. What are the factors responsible for air mass modifications? What are the factors responsible for air mass modification? बताओ क्या factors होगा? What are the factors responsible for air mass modifications? You should first know what are the modifications. The modifications are modifications of the lower level because of local topography. Second will be modifications as the air mass moves over different type of surfaces. The third modifications will be modifications because of air mass interactions. So factors kya hoga? The factors will be, okay, the wind as a factor that drags the air masses in some direction. Winds hoga ek. Second will be the surface properties over which the air mass moves. Usme important hoga the factor called as property contrasts. Is it water now becoming land? Is it land becoming water? Is it cold becoming warm? Is it dry becoming moist? So factors include, okay, the properties of the surfaces over which the air mass moves. The third will be the type of air mass interactions because of the frontal, okay, type of conditions. This सबको पता है. Okay. So if you have a summary as well, आपको recall करने में दिक्कत नहीं होगी. Otherwise, you are stuck. So what I have done right now, मैंने आपको answer नहीं बताया. What I did was, I recalled, okay, whatever point should be in my answers. Then your next level discussion starts. कि सर इसको structure कैसे करेंगे बताओ. So storyline, come back here. The storyline of the first question, if I'm asking you, what I said, it says examine the factors responsible for precipitation variations on the continents. Okay. Examine the factors responsible for the precipitation variations on the continent. My structure will be, okay, that precipitation is a complex process. Okay. The patterns are governed by many factors. Okay. Broadly, the following are the patterns. Okay. There are, okay, 6 factors that influence precipitation patterns. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. अब आपका actual answer शुरू होगा. Okay, precipitation pattern is complex. Patterns, okay, are the consequence of many factors. This I will put in the introduction. Okay, this becomes a part of the introduction. Then it says that the fact patterns are the consequence of certain factors. What are they? There are 6 of them. Now the question says, examine the patterns, right? Which means I have comment on of the factors, these 2 are more important. If I'm looking at tropical latitudes, these 2 are important, maybe in the temperate regions. If you look at the global patterns, okay, I can explain some patterns because of this. But in general, ये pattern important तो है, but it is not a very important one. Examination means what? It's a type of an evaluation. अगर आपको structure ही नहीं बनेगा, you'll not know what to write down. Examination is not simply about listing the factors. Examination is about a kind of an evaluation. Okay, what factor matters more? What factors matters less? What factors are modifying faster and what factors are probably not as important? That is where your answer is. ये आपको पता हो storyline, and then you will say, okay, that in recent times, the factors called A, B, C have become more important, particularly in the temperate and the high latitudes. The factor called as D has become more important in the urban areas. The factor called as E has become more important probably in the monsoon parts of XYZ continent. So this is your actual answer. So ये होता है storyline. Okay. So if I get this structure right, then my answer will flow smoothly. Is it okay, all of you? Okay. Now, look at the other question I was asking. What are the factors responsible for air mass modification? What are the factors? What are the factors responsible for air mass modification? What are the factors responsible for air mass modification? Okay, my story will start as air mass is an important component of weather and climate, particularly in the temperate latitudes. I will not begin with define air masses. You can, but I'll think, let me hit the question straight away. The air mass is an important component of the weather and climate of the temperate latitudes. Then I'll move on towards the air mass. Air mass is impact by two ways, or impact in two ways. The impact in terms of how they are formed and their properties, and they're impacted by the factors that modify them. Air masses are important. Okay, then air masses, how the impact is in terms of how they are formed, okay, in terms of their properties. So we have got the continental air masses, the maritime air masses, but in reality, the air masses impact in terms of the factors that modify them. And these factors are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then my actual answer starts. You take a one factor, the factor called as modifications because of the local topography. So heading likho and write the answer. The second factor is the factor called as the winds and how the air masses move. Make it a heading and some lines. The third factor will be in terms of the air masses interaction, the fronts and what are they doing. Is it okay? So what I want is, I'll give you the number of the questions here. I want you to think on these lines, okay, for the next couple of days. So your summarizations are done. Hopefully your memorization will happen. And you do this for every question, and I'll give it for the state questions primarily. Okay, that what are the steps in which you will develop the answer? Aapka storyline kya hoga? In the class, what I'll do is, it'll be kind of a real-time test. Aap likh ke dikhao what will be your storyline. Okay, and then I'll discuss what a student could have been. Otherwise, what happens is most of us write mechanically. Ab air mass dekhte you start off with air mass definition means this. Okay, these are types of air masses. Air masses are formed in so and so sources and they're modified. You're not seeing the question, not asking what air masses are. They're asking you, tell me factors, how air masses get modified. Okay, so your work will be developing storylines of the questions. Fine here? Okay, and in storyline, remember, you cannot forget the page limit in which you must write and the time limit in which you must write. Generally, a storyline should not have more than 6-7 broad heads. The heads mein bataya na aapko? Okay, so these are the 6-7 broad heads. Head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, conclusion 6. More than these heads, you'll not do justice to the question. Okay? So take down the questions now. Yeah, anybody, any clarifications? Anybody, any clarifications on this? Any clarifications on this? Anybody online? Then I'll give you the questions, okay, which you will practice on. All fine? Okay. Yes. Next. Okay, bata dete hain, then I'll tell you diagrams. In oceanography, you will get ready with, okay, the following 10 questions. Okay. Oceanography mein, luckily, the questions are more direct. They're more straight. Any one question on OBR, so you could take up the OBR of Atlantic Ocean if you want to take up. Last time they've asked one on Pacific Ocean. You can take up one of Atlantic Ocean. Say 1998 mein question tha. Okay, the submarine relief of Atlantic Ocean, but it was for 60 marks. In 1998. Okay, the same question, but in 20 marks likhna hai aapko. Just the storyline. Okay, what the storyline of an ocean bottom relief? Okay, that's one question. The second question get ready with is, okay, long answer like 2006 mein question hai, ocean currents of Northern Atlantic Ocean, 20 marks. Ocean currents of Northern Atlantic Ocean, 20 marks. 2007 में classification of ocean deposits and a detailed account of pelagic deposits of the oceans. Write the year and the theme. आप घर जाके any bank you can look up. Okay. 21, question of 2007. 2007, classify ocean deposits and a detailed account of the pelagic deposits of the oceans. Then again 2007 में, okay, we have one on elucidated changes of the यही topic था. Write a note on the elucidated changes of the sea level. Change of the sea level. Then you have 2011 में, write a short note on the salinity patterns of the Indian Ocean. Of the Indian Ocean. Okay, this is in 12 marks. So take it as 10-mark question. 2011 में, now this is a bit tricky one. Temperature, salinity and density differences in ocean water. Temperature, salinity and density differences in ocean waters are the prime causes of ocean water circulation. 30-mark question. 30-mark question. Then we have one question of 2012. Atolls present the most challenging explanation in the evolution of coral reefs. Atolls present the most challenging explanation in the evolution of coral reefs. Next one. This is 2016. The various ecological problems associated with exploitation and the use of oceans and the resources. The various ecological problems associated with the exploitation of and the use of oceans and their resources. Okay. Then we have a question will be on 2019 में. How are ocean waves formed? How are ocean waves formed? Distinguish between the wave of oscillation and the wave of translation. Wave of oscillation and the waves of translation. Now, I'll give you two examples, okay? How a structure will happen. I'll take up one example. Which one can I take up? Okay, say I'll take up the question of 2016. Bring out, likhe please aap log. Bring out the various ecological problems. Bring out. I'm demonstrating what your answer will look like, storyline. Bring out the various ecological problems associated with. Bring out the various ecological problems associated with the exploitation and the use of oceans and their resources. Oceans and their resources. Okay. So there are two broad parts. The oceans use and resources. और इसके वजह से what are the ecological problems? Okay. Do you know of one ecological problem called as marine heat waves? Do you know one ecological problem of marine heat waves? Do you know one ecological problem linked to oceans called as ENSO disruption? Okay, you know about this one? Okay. Do you know one ecological problem like sea level change? All of us know this. Ecological problems because of marine heat waves. Ecological problem because of or linked to ENSO. Ecological problem because of sea level change. Okay. Will this be part of your answer? Will this be part of the answer? Yes or no? I'm demonstrating how you trap yourself. Question kya hai? Use of ocean and the resources. Which use of ocean is causing marine heat wave? Which resources causes ENSO problem? Which use is causing sea level rise? You get it now, all of you? Read the question in deep. And my bet, 10 out of 10 will write about this. I'm not saying mat likho. Likho theek hai, but this is not where the focus is. The focus is link the ecological oceans with problems of fishing, problems of sea lanes of communication, problems related to deep sea mining, problems related to energy, oil and gas, problems related to coastal modifications. All of you here? Likhna kitna hai? This is how many words? Kya question? This is, this is, okay. Your 20-mark question. So I'm saying 3 pages. You already have 1, 2, 3, 4. I can also add problems related to, coral tourism. Okay. Now see. Now watch here. To do justice with a point, if I take up a point and to do justice with it, as in ki theek thak likhenge, not less, not more, how many words do I need? To do justice with a discussion point, how much minimum words or I say maximum words I can write down? Anybody? Beta pura answer aapka 200 word ka hai. ठीक है? The entire answer is worth how many words? 200 words. Correct? Now you tell me, if I take up one issue and I want to do justice with it, how many words can I write in that? I can't write more than 30, 40 words. ठीक है? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 into 30 भी मानते हैं. कभी लिख के देखना 30 words कितना होता है और कितने फट से खत्म होता है. This is already approximately 180, 200 words. आप ये छोड़ के आप इस पे लिखोगे, you're missing the question. So, if you had an essay, कि लिखो 1000 words. शुरू करना, God is great. God made earth. No planet has water. Earth has water. And all water started from India itself. Okay. India is the source of all life. Okay. From long, long historical ancient times. लिखो कहानी, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. ठीक है. आपको लिखना है 3 पेज में. 200, 250 words में लिखना है. So, write this, but not at the expense of this, no? Achha. For sense of completion, should your answer also have something on solutions also? Yes. वो तो मैंने ऐड भी नहीं किया अभी. So see, it's about, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 points I can write. Time limit hai, word limit hai. Pick and choose what to write, what not to write. Which to combine, which to mention and move ahead. This is your wisdom. It's not about, sir, question to ho jayega. See, anybody will tell me it's a tough question. You see the question, ecological problems of the oceans. Is it an easy question or a difficult question? And all will agree on कि यार ये तो पूछ सकता है. Okay. But the moment I say write in, okay, ये आंसर लिखना पड़ेगा आपको 7 minutes में. 7 minutes, 3 pages with diagrams and solutions. And don't miss the topic. That's where most of you will get killed. So if you write without thinking on the question कि पूछ क्या रहा है, extra लिखना है लिखो, but don't miss the obvious points. It's like taking a class, no? I can tell you a bit about history, a bit of economy. I can teach a bit about maybe polity, but you will lynch me if I don't teach you geography, no? So extra बताना बता देना, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, but geography तो बताना ही पड़ेगा, right? This is that one. So these are the points which most of us can see और फट से याद आता है. But this is something you miss. और लिखोगे भी, maybe you write this later on. What I will do in my structure now is that oceans are important. There are many problems linked to oceans, such as marine heat waves, such as ENSO fluctuations, recent time concerns of sea level rise. Okay, but the specific problems related to ocean use and resource exploitation are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the point here? So isko likho, mention karo, but make sure you don't miss this. Maybe now ab mujhe pata hai na, this is a mistake people will make. See, in my race, in competitive, बहुत important है to tell the others that they are making these mistakes. I am not making mistakes. I must get more points. So if I was writing, I would make a schematic. Ocean problems, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Because of XYZ, not ocean use. And ocean problems because of ocean use. हमने क्या किया पता है? I have educated the examiner कि अगर कोई ये लिख रहा है सर वो गलत लिख रहा है, अब ये वाला मेरा सही है. You get the point here? Okay. It happens, and trust me, examiner will see this and they catch it. Okay, they will give you brownie points. So it's your way of manipulation now. कि सर मुझे पता है, आपने पूछा नहीं तो मैं लिखा नहीं ना. आपने ये पूछा तो मैं ये लिखा हूं. And you know this will be a mistake. So when I am checking papers, when I tell my team what to see the answers, I tell them कि check ये mistakes होगा. वो अगर होगा पहले काट देना आंसर. आगे देखना ही नहीं. You have to learn this technique. Dwell on. जो आपको 10 questions दिया है, dwell on this question. This is what I call as level 2 questions. They look straight and simple, but you are challenged here. Is it okay, all of you here? So there are many problems. Okay, these are the problems because of ocean resources use. Now what I'll do is, okay, I will list down, okay, examples of such problems across the world. Ab yahan par I will want to make a world map, oceans ka, and tell kahan par kaise problems hai. Then I will be smart to say that Indian Ocean and Indian coast has following special problems because of ocean use. ये पूछा नहीं है question में आपके, but I'll add what I call as the regional dimension. Okay, so I've given a spatial pattern of the problems. I have discussed at the regional scale now. Most of them will make a list of the problems and say what is doing, but will not end up here. Okay, next we'll talk about solutions or interventions to deal with this. And I'll talk about UNCLOS, how UNCLOS is not adequate to address the problems of ecological damage because of ocean use. I'll have 2 lines on how MARPOL does not agree, will not solve, neither does the London Treaty or London Convention solve. Then I have said, okay, that London Convention of 1972 deals with dumping, okay, but it is still not as effective. So we now need a comprehensive global treaty, combines MARPOL and London Convention and UNCLOS and whatever you want to do. Okay. Now you also add plastic pollution. In list में आपका plastic pollution भी आना चाहिए. This is the current affairs you will add here. Is it okay? So I want, I'll take up a very simple question, straight uthayenge, and I'll tell you how you can mess that up. Any questions, anybody? Yes, Hardeep, this is the program we're talking about. Yes. Any questions? Any questions here? Right. a straight one, okay? Straight one was, I said, ocean currents of North Atlantic Ocean. This was a question I said of 2006. Of 2006. The ocean currents of North Atlantic Ocean. And it says only short note. ये बड़ा interesting form होता है questions का. Generally they ask this type for the 10-marker question, where question का focus is not specified. What will I discuss? How the currents are formed? Or what are the currents? What are the consequences? मैंने कुछ नहीं बताया. It's just a word, a phrase. This is a very open question. An open question that doesn't tell you what all dimensions to write down. It just says, write a note on ocean and North Atlantic Ocean currents. Something like, tell me about yourself. मैंने कुछ नहीं बताया कि मुझे क्या सुनना है. It's up to you now. Okay? Now, these questions are interesting because you have the capability of maneuvering the way you want to maneuver. It's your choice. Broadly, if I subdivide it, it will be, what are the currents? How are they formed? What is their consequence? ये तीन broad होगा. What are the currents? Gulf Stream, Atlantic Drift, Canaries Current, North Equatorial Current, Labrador Current, East Greenland Current, Norwegian Current. कोई ऐसा होगा who does not know this? Everybody knows this. How are they formed? Winds are creating. Some of you will know Ekman spiral, Ekman transport. Okay, you know this also. Consequences: warm water, cold water, upwelling, moderation of climate. In some places, the fishing zones that they create, and so on. Take it. Now, what else can you do here so that your answer becomes interesting? It's an open question. कोई define नहीं किया क्या लिखना है. It's an open slate for you. What more can you do so that your discussion becomes interesting? Anybody? Yeah? Yes, absolutely. Currents of the Atlantic Ocean bola hai na. Surface to nahi bola only. So what stops you from talking about the thermohaline currents? Now in news you have what's called as Atlantic meridional oscillations, if you know about this one. Ocean currents, which are vertical currents part of the conveyor belts. Emok batao. What else can you add to make your answer interesting? Yes? वो इसी का ही आ गया. Yes, a very good discussion can be compare North Atlantic with the other gyres. How is the Gulf Stream different from the Kuroshio current? Okay, how is the North Atlantic drift different from the North Pacific drift? How Atlantic Ocean does not have something like the monsoonal reversals of the Indian Ocean. तो ये जो comparison है, ये interesting comparison होगा. Is it okay? Okay. You can also add how the North Atlantic currents also have components because of salinity variations of the marginal seas. ये बच्चा छोड़ देगा. I hope you all know there's one current from Atlantic into Mediterranean across Strait of Gibraltar. There's one current from Baltic Sea into Mediterranean across Kattegat and Skagerrak. Okay, what stops you there? Yes, excellent. Because of Northern Atlantic gyre, you have the Sargasso Sea, best developed in the Atlantic Ocean. Kaho uske bare mein. So this is something I need, but this is something if you add, it makes the answer different. So this requires, you can also discuss that Atlantic Ocean perhaps is the best example where, okay, the topographical variations of the ocean floor impact the ocean currents. Okay, Atlantic Ocean is the best example where the topographical variations, the presence of the Romance Deep, the presence of the Antilles Islands, okay, the Irminger current because of Iceland, the Rennell current because of the English Channel and the Bay of Biscay. ऐसा वाला variations Indian Ocean में है नहीं, North में, Pacific में है, इतने range में नहीं है. So North Atlantic currents are the best examples of how the ocean bottom relief and the coastal coastlines also impact currents is best visible. What stops you there? I hope you got it, all of you. So I want कि आप ऐसे points सोच के आए. Yes, अब challenge है इतने. अब पहले क्या था सर, ये 3 पॉइंट लिख लेंगे हम लोग. I said no, wait. Now how many points you have? You got 6-7 points. कितने मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है? This is, कहाँ गया? This is a 20-mark question. I will want this in not more than 3 pages. Number of words, Aryan, let me give you an idea. Okay. In 3 hours, 250 marks. अब वो कुछ भी मार्क हो, मैं इसको 600 मार्क कर दूं पेपर को. I can do the 1000 mark, whatever marks I want. The fact is, in 3 hours, the maximum you can write is, okay, 3000 words. ये maximum है, if you write really crazy. Which means, a decent range of words is approximately 2500 words. Where I'm including diagrams. Which means, 250 marks is worth how much words? 2500 words. So 10 marks means how many words? 100 words. I hope you got it here. So I worked it from this side. Okay. So ये है आपका upper limit. So I say every mark को into 10 कर दो, you get the amount of words. If I say write in 500 words some answer, and the marks I'm giving is 20 marks. I said I don't care about आपने क्या मांगा है. 20 marks के मैं सिर्फ 200 word ही लिख सकता हूं. If you try hitting this, okay, you will kill yourself. Don't go by this one. Go by कितने marks का question है. So the general thumb rule is 10 marks, 100 words, 20 marks, 200 words, 30 marks, okay, 300 words, 15 marks, 150 words. ये बन गया आपका broadly. But my suggestion to all of you will be, वो 10 marks बोले कि 15 marks बोले, try to keep it within 150 words. Because 100 words में आप ज्यादा लिख नहीं पाओगे points. So if they say 150 words, 15 marks, 150 words, they 10 marks also not more than 150. Achha. And this, I don't care 20 or 30. कुछ भी पूछो, I will try to write in about 220 to 250 words. अगर वो 30 mark का भी होगा, I will write 250 words. Maximum. This is your thumb rule. And if you are seeing your pages, अगर आप लिख रहे हो ना, generally in one page with diagrams, you cannot write more than 80 words. ये general trend होता है. 100 words is entirely packed, organized. So 80 to 90 words, if I see approximately in one page, आप करके देख लेना. ठीक है? Which means 150 words is approximately 1.5 page. ये जो होगा approximately 1.5 page. And this is approximately about, I said, 3 pages maximum. In some answers, go for half page more. So they give you 4 pages, but I say, for heaven's sake, don't use all 4 pages. Because if you write one for 4 pages, second answer, aapka time kharab ho jayega. You can't write it. So that's my logic. Okay. Into 10 karo, but keep this as the limit of the number of words. Make sense, all of you? See, there's a logic to whatever we're trying to suggest here. You work it on C, and one more thing. If you are fast writer, sir, main to, sir, in 10 minutes, I can write 200 words. Well, likho fir. Then that's your choice. If you can write as fast, go ahead. Sir, I write very slowly. So, beta, aap to fir 80 mein likho aur kya karoge? Will I get less marks? Yes, you will get less marks. But if you write 150 words with slow handwriting, तो पेपर खत्म ही नहीं होगा आपका ना. ऐसा अच्छा है कि सबका थोड़ा कर दो. Okay, हर भगवान के पास में small prasad is better than ignoring some of them. Okay, भगवान क्रोधित हो जाएंगे. Okay, emotional हो गए तो फिर बेटा, okay, you are done. So those who can write fast, I say go ahead, add 50 words more. Okay, those who write very slow, तो आप अपने आप कम करो. Or learn to write fast in the time that you have. Sir, मुझसे diagram बनता ही नहीं है. Okay. Then write less and draw properly. Because without diagrams, you are in trouble. Diagrams तो आपको बनाना ही पड़ेगा. So then, see, these are your personal issues. You must identify where your strengths are. In my case, okay, I can write very fast. But others can't read. Okay. My speed is fast. And you have seen it now, more or less. Those who had any doubts. If I write slowly, my writing is work of art. But if I write 100 words, what will I do? When I write slowly, I can have a beautiful handwriting. Okay, I can cursive banakar upar mein phool bana ke I can color. Okay? So what I did for myself was, I taught myself technique of writing less and showing more through schematics and diagrams. What I would do is, okay, there are 10 points. मैं बहुत अच्छा schematic बना दूंगा with all the 10 points. लिखूंगा only 3 points. And rest I'll say, as discussed above. So I developed consciously because I knew I had my limits of how fast I can write down. ये आपको सीखना पड़ेगा. Is your management with whatever skills you have. Is it okay, all of you? I hope you all get it. So this is something like a thumb rule. Okay, but it's always okay managed according to what your capabilities are. Yes. What? One approximately, okay, 10 to 15 marks wala, you cannot write more than 7.5 minutes. And if you have a 20 or 25 marks, I'll say not more than 15 minutes. Into 2, that's all. आप करके देख लो इसको और क्या. Simple calculation. Okay, you got 250 marks. You have got 180 minutes. So do your own calculations. How much time you have? So straight ही कर दो ना. Okay. So 180. So 25 marks is 18 minutes. So approximately उसी में हम जा रहे हैं. But all depends on, again, if you write fast, then write more words, no problem. Nobody counts your words. Remember this. Okay, it's up to you. So the words are more like a guideline. क्या 10 मार्क पूछ रहा हूं तो 6 पेज मत लिखो यार. That's the guideline. But if you can write and fill the paper, करो फिर, no problem there. Got it, all of you here? I hope I demonstrated what I mean by understanding the question. So you will have to do this for the next 10 days, oceanography pe, I'll give the questions for climatology also. Is it okay, all of you? So I want you to have thought through this and then come to class. Otherwise, I will end up wasting time in teaching all of this from scratch. Now come to it. Somebody asked me about diagrams. Diagrams and sketches. Okay? Now, basically, I'm talking about pictorial tools. I'm talking about any pictorial tools. There are 4 or 5 types. One is sketches. Say I'm sketching, okay, a mountain. I'm sketching what does probably a landscape look like. Okay, I'm sketching the outline of a city. Okay, I'm drawing sketches. Think of Davis diagrams of mountains and valleys. I'm sketching. Second is maps. Okay, I can draw a map and show something. Okay. The third is, okay, flowcharts. Flowcharts. The fourth is schematics. Flowcharts you'll use when a process is involved. Okay, the process called as precipitation. Step 1, then step 2, then step 3, then step 4. It's a process-driven thing. How do the currents form? Step 1, there are winds. Step 2, Ekman spiral. Step 3, Ekman transport. Step 4, you have a central water mound. Step 5, okay, you have the gyre because of the Coriolis force or whatever. ये आपका process है. Process को आप दिखाना in a flow chart. How does the water move? How does the pollution happen? How does land degradation happens? Anything which involves a process, you can put in a flow chart. And I encourage it. इसमें क्या है? See, in paragraph, you use lot of words, sentences बनना पड़ता है. In flow charts, boxes and just the keywords. That's all. So most discussions on processes can compress by using flowcharts. Schematics. These diagrams you'll use when something involves components. Say types of ocean pollution. इसमें कोई process थोड़ी है. Types are, okay, say plastic pollution, urban sewage pollution, oil spill pollution. Okay, pollution because of noise. Okay, because of maybe says overfishing or fishing, whatever. If something involves components, a simple schematic is this, and you have done this. Ye component ban gaya. So something here, something here, something here, something here. These are components. You can draw a triangle. Okay, so component 1, component 2, component 3, and component 4. Okay, and fifth type is timelines. Timelines. As in, okay, say marine exploration. Timeline. 1870s, 1920s, 1950s, 1980s, and the 21st century. Timeline ho gaya. Okay. Understanding of the tropical cyclones or temperate cyclones. The old theory, Lambert theory. The next theories given by Abercrombie. Next theory given by Jerkins. The modern theory, Barrow-Clinic. Or you have got your synoptic, okay, charts. Ye timeline ho gaya. Timeline based are very good to discuss treaties. They're good to discuss maybe programs. So Kyoto Protocol, kaise shuru hua and how it has morphed over time. So timelines are also very important pictorial tools. Okay. Then you have got tables and charts, pie diagrams, okay, histograms, graphical depictions. These are the pictorial tools your answer can use. I'll come, some of you have done geographical thought. Otherwise, we will do that. in geographical thought, okay, these two are the most important tools, the schematics and the timelines. Of course, even flowcharts, but more schematics and timelines. The concept of regions evolving in time. What does a region have? 5 components of regions. What is the contribution of American school? Timelines. Contribution in terms of components. Okay. What are the different forms of determinism? Talk in terms of components. Okay. So this is also part of your thinking. Take up a question and think on what type of diagram you will use. Everything is not possible in the maps alone. But I will recommend, okay, wherever possible, add a small map. Or map में आपको सीखना है, okay, not drawing the complete map. Okay, I'll teach you when I move towards your answer writing. India map से better है drawing state maps. You must remember 10 states mainly, and you more or less will know what am I talking about. Okay, right? More or less you will know if you have seen it, of course. Yes. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. State of Odisha. You can't go wrong with this, right? The matter of fear. You cannot go wrong with this. Yes, it cannot be Chile yet, at least. You all know this. So more than drawing, and what you do is, you do this, okay, with this. So your control on maps has to be at the level of the states or regions. आपको दिखाना है northeast पूरा एक ही रखना. You'll have no problem here. Just okay, this. That's all. तो जो दिखाना है, Meghalaya something, you show from Mizoram something, from the Assam or Arunachal Pradesh, you are done. So avoid drawing the entire country's map every time. जरूरत नहीं है हमें. Okay, this will show your level of proficiency. This आपको अगर पंजाब दिखाना है, don't draw whole of India. You draw only this much. Okay, and show this as Punjab. That's all. It will look good in your answers. और वैसे world का भी, don't draw the whole world map. It takes a lot of time. Drawing sections. Only Pacific Ocean. Okay, only Pacific Ocean. You know it's Pacific Ocean, right? That's about it. So you will learn to draw maps in regions. Draw only Ukraine with Black Sea. Draw only Scandinavia. अगर आप दिखाना चाह रहे हो North Atlantic Drift, don't draw whole of Atlantic Ocean. Imagine while discussing the currents of Atlantic, I have drawn 4 maps. One map is this one. Okay, one map is this. Okay, to show the Cayman current. Okay, this and this. दिखा सकते हैं? Discuss कर लो यहाँ जो बताना है. Then I draw the map of this alone. ठीक है? I've shown the Canaries and the Rennell current. Okay, I draw only this, and I show East Greenland, Labrador. I can do this. इसमें क्या होगा देखो, what will happen in this is, if I draw the full map, okay, I'll take more time. This takes less time, और time नहीं हुआ तो मैं ये और ये नहीं बनाऊंगा. But I've still shown that I know the region very well. I hope you got the point here. I'm discussing, for example, climates of the world. Say Mediterranean climate. Why show the whole world? I just draw this and show Californian Mediterranean. Okay. I just draw this and show Perth and Adelaide. Time nahi hua to show South America. No time for southern Chile or central Chile. But yes, I'll spend some time to draw the Mediterranean region. Again, I'll show this as Mediterranean. You have to learn this type of map making. Draw maps of the regions. So your work will be on 4 levels. One is question ka focus pakdo aap log. The second will be start structuring the answers. Third will be what type of diagrams can you use. Fourth is recall the content from your summary sheets and your synopsis. And you'll do this for 20 questions I'm giving you. Okay. Question ka focus kya hai? I demonstrated that in case of ocean, right? Is asking me ocean ecological problems because of ocean use and ocean resources, not in terms of any random ecological problem. So आपका focus पता होना चाहिए. Structuring, this is part of your storyline. Structure is part of storyline. Diagram, okay. Diagram or pictorial tool, आप क्या use करना चाह रहे हैं? Will you use components, a line diagram with timelines, a map or a sketch? You decide that. And the fourth is the content recall from whatever synopsis you have made, whatever summarizations you have done. All good? So I've given the questions for oceanography. I've shown you 2 questions now. I'm giving the questions of climatology. Questions of climatology. Okay, climatology mein, one is I've discussed 2021 ka, the influencing factors for varied patterns of precipitation. Influencing factors for varied patterns of precipitation. Again, okay, 2020 ka, explain the features of frontogenesis and frontolysis. An interesting one. What are the features of frontogenesis and frontolysis? Next one, 2019. Discuss in detail the tricellular model of atmospheric circulation. The tricellular model of atmospheric circulation. Next, 2018. Basis and scheme of Thevartha's classification. Basis and scheme of Thevartha's classification. 18 ka question hai. Okay. The next one, 2017. Climate change is reality. Explain with suitable examples. Climate change is a reality. Explain with suitable examples. The next one, okay, 2015 ka question hai. Explain the meridional circulation of the atmosphere and its importance in the world climate. Explain the meridional circulation of the atmosphere and its importance in the world climate. Next one. 2013. With examples, bring out the impact of local winds on the climate of an area. Bring out the impact of local winds on the climate of an area. 2012. Compare, contrast tropical cyclones and temperate cyclones. Tropical cyclones and temperate cyclones. 11. A note on Rossby waves and jet streams. Rossby waves and jet streams. Some of them are straight questions, some of them are a bit more twisted. Okay, this will be your work for the next 1 week, 10 days. Okay, any questions? Online, you want to confirm with me? Any questions? Any questions online? You want to confirm with me or clarify? Yes, Chinmay, you can. Yes, you can. Okay. Fine then. Okay. I was supposed to wind up in 1.5 hours, more or less. We have met that objective. पूरा आंसर न लिखो अभी. Just do this. Okay. Question का focus क्या है? What structure, storyline, what diagrams you want to use, and whether you can recall all the relevant content or not. Recall all the relevant content or not. Okay. So that's about it. Thank you. Online. Bye-bye. Thank you.